Hello everyone, I'm Benita Story, also known as the Fiber Pusher. Today I want to kind of introduce you to a project that I have going on. I actually started this project a long time ago. I'm going to guess 2012, 2013. And it's languished. And I have decided it's time to finish it. So I've been working on it. Now, what I have done is a huge spinning project. I'm partially done with it, and I'll explain to you in a second what I mean by I'm partially done with it. But what I started out with is I had all of these samples, a good pound and a half of merino in a bunch of different colors. Most of the colors were earth tones, as in greens, various shades of greens, browns. There's some blues in there, there's some golds, there's some oranges, but in that colorway. There's no purples, there's no reds or anything like that. So they're mostly on the yellow to blue scale with a lot of shades and tones and tints and all of that in there. So I had all of that, and I was looking at it and I thought, okay, I'm just going to have fun. So what I did was I sectioned it off into sections anywhere from about this long to about this long. It's all top, and randomly spun it. So I basically had a basket sitting next to me that I had all these little sections in the basket, all balled up into little nests. And when I would finish one, I would just randomly grab another one and spin it. I just wanted to make sure they weren't the same thing. And so there's long sections and there's short sections, and depending on how big of the section that I spun. And so once I got that done, it's like, okay, what do I want to do with this? So I happened to notice I had a lot of dark brown merino. And I thought, oh, that would be gorgeous plied with it. So I spun and spun and spun and spun and spun a lot of dark brown merino. In fact, I ended up doing two colors of dark brown. One was called bitter chocolate, and the other one was just called a dark brown. And for what I'm using it for, it's okay to have the two different colors in there, and I'll explain that again to you here in a second. So I wanted to show you what I did with this. So, see this? Isn't that gorgeous? Well, there's not just this. There's this. And this. And this. And this. And these two. So basically I have this much 2-ply fingering weight yarn, 100% merino. And so how much is here? Well, weight wise, there's 1,423 grams, which comes up to 3.137 pounds of yarn. Now, I say fingering weight, I'm going to say fingering to sport. And so I don't know how much my yardage is on this yet, but just by kind of going out on what the average fingering weight is to the average sport weight, it's roughly 5,000 yards. And I'm going to say roughly. So 5,000 yards, and you calculated it down and everything, it's nearly 3 miles of yarn. And so I was pretty excited about that. Now, I live in the country, and for us to go around the block, our block is 3 miles. So basically, I could tie a string to the end of my deck, walk around the block, and come back and have string tied to the end of my deck. Might kind of freak my neighbors out, but that's basically what I have. So here's what I want to do with it, and here's why I'm kind of excited. I want to create a project that I'm calling the Slow Cloth Woolen Suit. And basically I'm going to weave with this. What this is the warp. So all of this is the warp. And by my calculations, using a 12 set, I have a 24-inch wide, 8 harness, shacked baby wolf flume. because of that, I can do a twill pattern on 4 harnesses and 4 harnesses with 2 selvages and a fold. And so I can do a double weave cloth that basically ends up being 48 inches wide. Let's pull in for a little bit of take in, although I'm going to be really, really careful not to have a whole lot of draw in. Yeah, draw in. Try to get it, I wanted to average 46 to 48 before washing. By my calculations, I should be able to do 7 to 8 yards of cloth. I'm calculating a yard for loom waist, but I think I can get between 7 and 8 yards, yards of warp cloth. This means, of course, I need to spin the weft, and I have a brown, and it is a Cormo Border Leicester cross. It's from Westfield Woolies' flock, which is really close to where Sandy lives. This is an award-winning flock. They have won grand champions and reserve champions at the Indiana State Fair so many years in a row that it was amazing. I mean, this is an award-winning flock. And so I've got that soft part of the Cormo, but I've got the strength of the Border Leicester bred into it. So I think it'll make a really good weft. Obviously, Merino is not as strong because it is a very fine fiber, but it's obviously strong enough to warp. I mean, come on, Italian men's suiting is made out of merino wool. So if they can do that, I can do this. So I've got to spin up all of this brown. And that's going to be a main project for me. My goal is to have that spun by the end of the winter. Now, it's the beginning of August right now. I'm kind of giving myself a lot more time than I think I really need to do, because I need to spin about 3 pounds of it. Okay, that's no problem. I can spin about 3 pounds of it, but I don't want to take the years. So I'm giving myself a deadline. And my deadline is I would like to have that spun by, let's say, end of April next year. Now, you think that's a long ways off for me to spin, and it is. Like I said, I'm giving myself some leeway here. But I also know myself, knowing that I had going to get really tired of spinning dark brown. So I'm going to give myself palette cleansers. And since I have so much wool of so many different breeds, I thought what I'd do is I'd spin 2 bobbins, ply them together, spin a couple of breeds as a palette cleanser. And when I say a couple of breeds, I'm talking half an ounce to an ounce. Just to get to learn about that fiber and to spin it and weave it and knit it and dye it and felt it and all that good stuff, just like we did for the Fiber Binder Club. So I want to get that done. And then go back to spinning a couple brown, bobbins full, ply them together, palette cleanser. And that's why I think this is going to take me a little longer to spin than if I just spun dark brown. But anyways, that's kind of what I have in mind. And what I want to have come out of this, especially if I can get 7 to 8 yards of 48-inch wide fabric. Now mind you, it will shrink, because when I wash it, my goal is to have between 36 and 40 inches finished, and by the time I wash in length, I should have I'm hoping about 6 yards. 6 yards of 36 to 40 inch wide fabric is a decent amount of fabric. And my goal is I want a suit out of it. I want a jacket and a skirt out of this. And if I have enough left over, I want a vest. Now, my goal is obviously I'm going to line this. And no, I am not buying any of that polyester crap. I'm going to line this with 100% silk. I want everything in this project to be natural fibers, including the thread. I haven't figured out yet what I want to do for buttons. I don't know if I'm going to do self buttons or if I'm going to make leather buttons or what yet. I don't know. We'll see what I come up with, but they will not be plastic buttons. I don't want anything in this suit to be man-made anything. I want this to be silk and cotton and wool and maybe leather. I don't know. But that's what my project is, and that's the project I'm going to bring you on with me. So yes, the slow cloth woven suit. So join me on this journey. I'll keep you up with what's going on. I'll update you as things go, and wish me luck. Talk to you later. Bye.